Wow, here we go. Shalom, shalom, peace. Welcome to another episode. DSTN, don't shoot the messenger. It's your brother Amath. I acquired first name. IQ is all the same. Shabbat shalom to the fam. Uh, we had to get one. I had to get one in. Had to get one in. Although we're out in the wilderness and enjoying our time tabernacling, as they say, and dwelling in booths. There's never a dull moment in Babylon and in the world. Still got to be able to put this information out there. A lot to cover, but in a short amount of time. So, Lord willing, I can stick to my plan and be precise, get this information out there, and pray that the rest of y'all and everybody that's tuning in, man, has a blessed Shabbat. You see the title. I know it sounds crazy. Human cloning? I mean, we hear about it. You uh, get a little bit of the rumor mill. Oh yeah, they're already cloning humans. They're walking around amongst us right now. Well, mainstream news is starting to acknowledge that they're in the laboratories bubbling up, Lord knows what, uh, to walk amongst us. Okay. Plus, we had a North Korea setting off detonations and blowing up the the borderlines and the railways leading between North Korea and South Korea. That's an initiation of them acknowledging that there's no peace treaties, there's no reunifications of the two said countries. North Korea, Kim Jong Un, they're in it for the long haul. Bombs is going off over there, and that's just indicative of the times that we're in. Uh, Taiwan running major drills. Uh, Agent Orange is up to his old tricks again. Was he? Was there a third assassination attempt this week? Let me know. I've got questions. I've got some questions regarding that. That and more. All right. Let's get right to it. Let's get right to it, man. If you have not wiped your feet yet, man, and you don't know what that means, let me help you out. All you got to do, hit the like button. You can even hit the dislike button. Uh, but show some respect when you come to the door. All right, you knock on the door. Right, I opened up the door. I told you it's open. Come on in. All you got to do is wipe your feet when you come on in here, man. Do me that solid, would you? I really appreciate it, family. So let's get to it. Let me present my screen. I'm gonna do it that way. All right. You know what? Let's get right to the meat and potatoes. Okay. We're gonna start off here. Look at this. This is MSNBC or MSN. Um, I guess they are also in cahoots with the Atlantic. Um, so they're publishing an Atlantic article on the MSN website, just so that you know it's mainstream. This ain't some underground blog from the dark web and some cat with a tinfoil hat putting the pieces of the puzzle together. You see the headline: They were made without eggs or sperm. Are they human? Oh, what are we talking about? Look at this. The little clump of cells looked almost like a human embryo created from stem cells without eggs, sperm, or womb. The embryo model had a yolk sac and a protoplacenta, resembling a state that real human embryos reach after approximately 14 days of development. It even secreted hormones that turned a drugstore pregnancy test positive. Oh boy. Oh boy. We read this last week with Elon Musk, you know, uh, and his desire to make Optimus robots to replace, the workforce, to replace your babysitter, to replace human contact. So they saying, the Optimus robots can be best friends with your kids and they babysit and get your prescriptions and do everything else for you, right? So the replacement of people is here. Because why? Oh, we're talking about um, population reduction, population control. So if we get rid of any of the seditious minded people, i.e., the Israelites in particular, blacks, Native Americans, and Hispanics, waking up to who we are, repenting in droves, following after the laws and the commandments of the Most High, celebrating and observing the feast days and the ceremonial days, reconnecting with our power, they don't like that. And their desire is we've got to get rid of them. It's always been that way, right? They've always been on the hunt. Going back to Exodus. Let me get one more tab open, and let's just look at that real quick, because here we are in our Exodus again. In our Exodus one more time. Okay. And in spiritual Egypt, you understand, according to Revelation 11 and 8, y'all should know them precepts already. But Exodus 1, now these are the names of the children of Israel, which came into Egypt. Every man in his household came with Jacob. Verse 5, all the souls that came out of the loins of Jacob were 70 souls, and for Joseph was in Egypt already. So Joseph already being here in Egypt, Joseph being the progenitor of the head of the northern kingdom, Ephraim, right? Already here, similar to what's going on, to what we encountered 1492 and beyond. The northern tribes is already over here, fleeing Assyrian captivity or getting released from Assyrian captivity, 722 BC, making their way over to this land, and scattering, throughout the southern kingdom and other places, right? But look at this. Verse 7, and the children of Israel were fruitful and increased abundantly and multiplied and waxed exceeding mighty, and the land was filled with them. Now there arose up a new king in Egypt, which knew not Joseph, and he said unto his people, so he did not recognize, he came up in a different dynasty era. He didn't recognize the works of Joseph and everything that Joseph had lined up for his people, i.e., the land of Goshen, so forth and so on. What did he do? And he said unto his people, behold, the people of the children of Israel are more and mightier than we. Come on, let us deal wisely with them, lest they multiply. And it come to pass that when there falleth out any war, they join also unto our enemies and fight against us, and so get them up out of the land. So what was their job? They didn't want the children of Israel to continually increase, grow, and become a problem or a takeover to what was already established. That's what the white man fears right now. That's why there's so many distractions. There's the systematic racism that's lined up in order to keep us either incarcerated or ignorant or fighting each other or drugged up or stripping on poles or performing off OnlyFans and everything else, right? Everything to keep us away from our power. And they know that, because if you read in the Apocrypha in Judith, the 5th chapter, it tells you that the nations, in particular, an Ammonite named Achior, knew about the history of the children of Israel. And he was informing to, I think it was Holofernes in Assyria, and he was informing them regarding the history of the children of Israel. He said, if this people be close to their power and keeping the commandments, you can't overthrow them. But if they are in transgression, we can get them. Matter of fact, we're going to get that in a second, because I'm quoting it, but it's a beautiful thing, because it lets us know that the heathen know about us, man. I mean, look at it. How can a Korean coming fresh off the fish boat, man, come over here and sell you Louisiana fried chicken, sell you everything that you want in your liquor stores, right? How can Ishmael, the so-called Arabs, they come over here and open up the poppy stores, they open up the bodegas, they selling you your favorite snacks and chips and cigarette Lucy's and Black and Milds, and how do they know all this? Unless they study you. You understand what I'm saying? The Hamites, the Africans, they come over here selling you voodoo heads and all kind of foolishness and the kente cloth garments, and because they know children of Israel, they lost, destroyed for lack of knowledge. We can take full advantage of them because they're disconnected from their power. So there's always going to be a fight in them trying to reduce our population and get rid of us because of what we do. And the rest of the nations, they're collateral damage. You understand what I'm saying? So when we're talking about population control, look at Addendum 200 that was written by what's the cat man that just died? Uh, State Memorandum 200 by Henry Kissinger was the guidelines for population reduction. He said he's going to use food as a weapon and also injections, if you know what I'm talking about. State Memorandum 200. Okay. I'm gonna close out with that Exodus, right? Because I think you get the point. But in Judith the fifth chapter, and we've talked about this before. So here you go. Then it was declared to Holofernes, the chief captain of the army of Ashur, that the children of Israel had prepared for war and had shut up the passages of the hill country and had fortified all the tops of the hills and had laid impediments in the champaign countries. Now, let's drop down. Verse 5. Then said Achior, the captain of all the sons of Ammon, let my lord now hear a word from the mouth of thy servant, and I will declare unto thee the truth concerning this people, which dwelleth near thee and inhabiteth the hill countries, and there shall no lie come out of the mouth of thy servant. So he's about to give him the dirt. Let's just start here. And they sojourned heretofore in Mesopotamia because they had not followed the gods of their fathers, which were in the land of Chaldea. For they left the way of their ancestors and worshipped the power of heaven and the power whom they knew. So they cast them out from the face of their gods, and they fled into Mesopotamia and sojourned there many days. Then that power commanded them to depart from the place where they sojourned and to go into the land of Canaan, where they dwelt and were increased with silver, with gold and silver, and with very much cattle. So we're going all the way back to Ur of Chaldees, Abraham, aligning himself up with his army, his family, Abraham, Isaac, Jacob, in our quest to get our promised land, the land of Canaan. So he knows all of this, right? Look, he's even talking about the king of Egypt rising up against us, dealing subtly with us, laboring with brick, made us slaves. He knew it all, right? Now, down to verse 17, getting straight to the point. And whilst they sinned not before their God, they prospered because the power that hateth iniquity was with them. Did you hear that? While we sinned, when we did not sin before the Most High, we prospered because the Most High hates sin and iniquity. Continuing on, it says, but when they departed from the way which he had appointed them, they were destroyed in many battles, very sore, and led captives into a land that was not theirs. And the temple of their power was cast to the ground, and their cities were taken by the enemies. Now, this is a cold cut because you've got a Christian apologist and others who say that Deuteronomy 28 and all those curses, they were already fulfilled, and we can't use that. You can't talk about the transatlantic slave trade. That already happened. Hold on. It says, but when they departed from the way which he appointed them, anytime. That's why the Most High says that his judgment is like a ring. It's circular. Once it's already laid out, he needs not make any more punishments. It's already understood. If you break this, this is going to happen to you all the time. This wasn't just one time in Deuteronomy 28, 15 through 68. This is a cyclical thing that would happen to us anytime we broke the law. But when they departed from the way which he appointed them, they were destroyed in many battles sore, not just one, consistently, and were led captives into a land that was not theirs. We went to Assyria, we went to Babylon, we went to the Persians and Medes, we went under the Greeks, we went under the Romans. Look at the book of Judges. Every nation had us in bondage and captivity. What are they talking about? Continuing on, and the temple of their power was cast to the ground, and the cities were taken by the enemies. But now are they returned to their power and are come up from the places where they were scattered and have possessed Jerusalem, where their sanctuary is, and are seated in the hill country, for it was desolate. All right. So he's letting it be known. He's saying, look, if you try it right now, it's over with. We don't stand a chance. As Don King would say, you got two chances, slim and none, and slim is out of town. So that's what Acura was saying. That lets you know that the nations definitely be paying attention and study you so-called blacks and Hispanics, man. State Memorandum 200. Just so if y'all want to check it out on your own, double back and go check it out. I mentioned it regarding population control. Okay, you can go look it up. Written by Henry Kissinger. He was an advisor to what's the cat's name? Jimmy Carter and other government officials. Uh, this demon gave up the ghost, I think, last year. But no question, this was all based around population control, and he was targeting South America, Central, certain Asian countries. The darker ones. I think the Philippines or Vietnam, the Cambodia. Trying to hit them up too. But that's what that's about, right? So you're looking at it like this: if you're cutting off the population, you want to reduce the population. We already know that the so-called white man is repopulating uh, slower. He's dying off faster than he's repopulating. That's a fact, right? Now, if he wants to get rid of others, and then what? Replace with robots, and now they're saying, well, we can just recreate some new humans who's going to be completely obedient to the Matrix and to the beast. You understand? That's where his mind is at. So look at this. Continuing on. So here you see they're making embryo models, yolk sacs, protoplacenta, all the way up to 14 days of development. It even shows positive on the pregnancy test. It's a long article. I just want to get right to the point. I'll read this part and then I'm gonna drop down. To Jacob Hanna's expert eye, the model wasn't perfect, more like a rough sketch. It had no chance of developing into an actual baby. But in 2022, when two students burst into his office and dragged him to the microscope to show him the cluster of cells, he knew his team had unlocked a door to understanding a crucial stage of human development. Hanna, a professor at the Weizmann Institute of Science in Israel. Oh, Revelation 2939. Should that be coming to your mind right now? Absolutely, it should, right? Here he is tampering with the development of seed, breaking the laws of the Most High, procreation, reproduction. He believes he is the Most High. And you see, he's a GMO small hat out of the Weizmann Institute of Science in Israel. Weizmann, look at this. Jeremiah 49:7. Concerning Edom, thus saith Yahweh, the power of hosts, is wisdom Weizmann? Oh, wisdom no more in Teman? Is counsel perished from the prudent? Is their wisdom vanished? This is how the Most High is going to judge and destroy Edom, because they're vain in their knowledge, they're vain in their sorceries, they're vain in their witchcraft, they're vain in their pride. So when you hear the Weizmann Institute, this is a representation where you see the wisdom that came out of Teman. Teman was one of the capital cities where the wise of Esau would be developing their understandings in ancient times, right? And their wisdom vanished. These would be equivalent to the Project Paperclip and the German scientists escaping World War II to come over here and develop rockets and bombs for America. And I think some of them also got scattered to a couple other countries too. But that's who we're talking about, So here they are talking about the Weizmann Institute. Interesting, right? Also knew that the model would raise some profound ethical questions. You think? We'll try to drop down. Now, see, they always throw this in there. Researchers generally agree that today's model show little risk of one day becoming walking, talking human beings. Combining sperm and egg the old-fashioned way is already no guarantee of creating new life. Even women in their 20s have only about 25% chance of getting pregnant each month. Making embryos in a lab, sans the usual source material, is considerably harder. Right now, only about 1% of embryo models actually become anything that resembles an embryo, according to Hannah. According to him, you believe him? When he speaketh fair, believe him not, right? Because the seven abominations in his heart. They're telling us technology. Oh, we just discovered this in 2022. It's actually resembling a human. Best believe they're far advanced in the time frames of their developments than they're letting us on to believe. And because scientists don't have a great idea of what a 9-year-old embryo looks like inside the body, really said they don't actually know for certain whether the models are developing similarly. Um, I'm gonna stop there. Like I said, it's a long article. I don't have time to go over all of it, but I do encourage you go back, read it. They were made without sperm. With Salaki, they were made without eggs or sperm. Are they human? Right? You can look it up, msn.com, or just search it out. Do your further research on it. Let's get to Wisdom of Solomon 15. But thou, O Yahweh, art gracious and true, long suffering and in mercy, ordering all things. For if we sin, we are thine, knowing thy power. But we will not sin, knowing that we are counted thine. For to know thee is perfect righteousness. Yea, to know thy power is the root of immortality. Neither did the mischievous inventions of men deceive us. Out of the Wise Men Institute, the small hat communities, uh, the Ammonite community, all of them out there bubbling up what they can in these laboratories, man, whether it's biological agents, whether they're in there trying to do human cloning. Look, they were talking about that they weren't able to clone animals until they had what was the sheep, Lucy or whatever, not Lucy. I forgot what they was calling the first quote unquote sheep that they cloned. Now they're selling clone meat. You dig what I'm saying? So all the time they lie and say, no, we ain't got it. And then next thing you know, boom, it's already going down. Right? So don't be deceived. Especially 2 Corinthians 2:11 says about the inventions of Satan. Let's get that real quick. As the precepts pop in my head, I'm just trying to go there, moving in the spirit. 2 Corinthians 2:11, lest Satan should get an advantage of us, for we are not ignorant of his devices. So who are we up against? What ideology, what spirit is out there being pressed upon people? The spirit of Satan. That's our battle. I don't have no battle with nothing else but Satan and the heathen when the time comes. You understand? So look, continuing on, you see here. Verse 4, for neither did the mischievous invention of men deceive us, nor an image spotted with diverse colors. The painter's fruitless labor. Oh, it looks beautiful. Everything looks great. Diverse colors spotted up. So enticing to the eye. Remember that in 2 John? See, like I said, the precepts pop in my head. All praise to the Most High. No. 1 John. 1 John 2. See the fancy colors and everything. 1 John 2, verse 15. Love not the world, neither the things that are in the world. If any man love the world, the love of the Father is not in him. But I thought so. God so loved the world. Oh, yeah. Double back on that Blade Runner edition. Lion, the Feed the Lions that my IQAhmath did regarding John 3:16. Continuing. Verse 16, for all that is in the world, the lust of the flesh and the lust of the eyes, and the pride of life is not of the Father, but is of the world. So we're not to be fooled when we see these worldly inventions and we see these things that's enticing to the eye, that look so, what do they call it? And the forward thinking, technology wise, and, the conveniences that, come along with it. Always know, man, there's back doors and traps that our enemies always line us up with these things. So continuing on, verse 4 one more time. For neither did the mischievous invention of men deceive us, nor an image spotted with diverse colors, the painter's fruitless labor. The sight whereof entice fools to lust after it, and so they desire the form of a dead image that hath no breath. Yeah, there's no breath, there's no spirit within it. What type of clones are they out here making, man? And you know how many damn heathen probably gonna line up just like they do the IVF treatments and freezing eggs and sperm donating and you know because the heathen be desperate, man. They can't populate like us. Scriptures say, man, we like the sands of the sea, an innumerable seed. They envy us and our ability to procreate. That's why they're always promoting, interracial marriages on commercials, trying to implant the ideas. If they ain't doing that, it's LGBTQ plus down your throat, HIV, hello. All of the above, man. Isaiah 10:22. For though thy people Israel be as the sands of the sea, yet a remnant of them shall return. The consumption decreed shall overflow with righteousness. So we see Israel's like the sand of the sea, man, innumerable. That's why they're always doing censuses, trying to catch us and count us down and figure out what they're up against. But even out of that sand of the sea, the Lord said only a remnant is going to return, man. 2/3 of our people is going to be stuck on stupid and want to follow after the ways of the heathen, deny our power, deny keeping the laws and the statutes, right? Because they'd rather deal with temporal satisfaction here in the world. All right. Let's move on to another article real quick. Good old General Services Administration. This is the government. Federal and state government agencies are now moving towards what? Facial recognition, biometrics to identify you digitally when it comes down to utilizing their services. Oh, don't worry, it's just voluntarily right now. This is just beta test. They just want to make sure they let it be known we've got the technology already in place, ready to roll out. We're giving you a chance to volunteer now before it becomes mandatory. Let's look at this. Agencies using the government created service will have the option to incorporate new face matching capabilities or stick with existing offerings. After months of testing, the federal government's identity proofing and single sign-on service login.gov is opening up its face recognition capabilities across the government to agencies that want to use them. Don't worry, it's voluntarily. Calm down, IQ. Quit fear mongering. Okay, yeah, all right. Hey, look, they always are going to put it out there as if, don't worry, it's just voluntarily. Aren't they doing that with the real ID? Early off, it was, oh, yeah, get the real ID. You don't have to get it right now, but you're going to need additional ID to make sure. Now, next year, everything's real ID. 2025, they want everybody in the matrix. You want to find out about you want to follow up on your tax returns. You want to follow up on filing for this, that, and the third. You need your EBT and all this other stuff. Oh yeah, facial recognition is going to be the wave. You notice last year they already put the Fed Now coin into effect. They got the digital coin already lined up, right? Now they need to be able to have the ID system lined up, or you won't be able to get your benefits. Continuing. The General Service Administration says that the offering of one-to-one face matching has been independently certified as compliant with the government-backed standard for digital identity proofing set by the National Institute of Standards and Technology, called Identity Assurance Level 2. Federal agencies use login.gov for people to verify their identities when logging in to access government benefits and services. Oh, benefits, services. Keep that in mind. The offering has over 100 million users already across over 50 federal and state agencies. I bet 100 million. That's a third of the country already. It's only, 350, 60 million. 100 million is already locked in. And this news could affect how future users have to verify their identity to access information and benefits. Did you hear that? That's why I said right now, it's voluntarily. It's voluntary. This news could affect how future users have to verify their identity. Proving your identity is a critical step in receiving many government benefits. Yeah, hello? For the Negroes running around here talking about, we want reparations. We need our money. The Negro, first of all, they ain't giving you no reparations. And if they do, you can't get it without bending over for the beast. You want the benefits? You want a little piece of the pie? Oh yeah, come on. Let us biometrically identify you. We're gonna need to see your face, your eye every time we look at you. You got you profiled, and we're gonna lock it into your benefits. You can't get it unless you come in and check in. Moving on, proving your identity is a critical step in receiving many government benefits and services, Social Security, disability. All the things coming down the pipeline. And we want to ensure we are making that as easy and secure as possible for members of the public. Medicare, Medi-Cal, you want your benefits? Play fair. Or it's voluntary now. You're probably going to need 3 forms of ID just to, get that straightened out until you get tired and you submit and say, all right, fine, take my picture. I want in. Right? And don't get me wrong, there's no quote unquote sin with this, but what you got to understand is this is a pathway that leads towards the beast system. This is the pathway that leads towards the Revelation 13 and the mark of the BEAST. Right? As possible for members of the public while protecting against identity theft and fraud, said GSA Administrator Robin Carnahan in a statement. Okay. Login.gov heard from our agency partners with higher risk use cases that was important that we offer a version of strong identity verification services that is ILA 2 certified, said the login.gov director Hannah Kim in a statement. If you notice, a lot of services now are requiring or asking you, do you want 2-step verification? A lot of times that second step verification is biometrically linked. They're slowly but surely incorporating the B system in all manners of identity, right? If you start noticing, oh, your Gmail, your bank account, we want 2-step verification. Right now, they're like, okay, you decline. Well, we'll send you a text message to your phone, or do you want us to call you so we can make sure it's you? Oh, if that doesn't work, we're going to need your fingerprint. Use your fingerprint. Fingerprint don't work. Oh, well, let's do your face. You understand? That's where they're moving with this thing, and that's how we know what's going on. All right. Let me play this other video right here while I'm here, before we get to the PowerPoint and look at some articles. Imagine this guy, Charlie, MAGA Charlie. He must be watching DSTM. Look, remember they always tell you what they are going to do before they do it. Well, we've been talking about that according to Psalms 64 for the longest. Why am I not spelling Psalms right? Or is this thing tripping? Psalm 64, Salakia, y'all. And I think I want verse 8. Verse 8. So they shall make their own tongue to fall upon themselves. All that see them shall flee away. So their own tongue is going to fall upon themselves. So good old Charlie here has made a powerful little post. Powerful post that I ran across in another article. I seen his link was embedded in it, I think, which is how I found this. But it's a video from the World Economic Forum. Isn't that nice? And look at the topic. What if extreme weather froze your bank account? We can't make it. Hold on, man. You can't make this up. I'm about to say we. You can't make this up. The World Economic Forum it's posted a video talking about what if extreme weather freezes your bank account. Well, can we talk about the people in North Carolina, the people in Florida, right? The people in Memphis and certain other areas that got hit with them hurricanes. And they're talking about another one might be doubling back again. I believe I've seen an article earlier this week saying again, like another hurricane was being tracked. So ironically, extreme weather is being talked about. We had a record number of tornadoes hit in America this year. Record breaking destruction from the hurricanes, right? Fires in California, so forth and so on. Cold winter's finna come up. And the World Economic Forum is talking about, well, Imagine if there was extreme weather and your bank account froze. And let's not forget Klaus Schwab talking about imagining the frightening scenario of a comprehensive cyber attack that would make the C-19 look like a minor disturbance. So he's talking about cyber attacks as Verizon's going down, Microsoft's going down multiple times, Yahoo going down multiple times, phone services tripping. I mean, come on, man. Banks glitching. Bank of America sending you, yeah, you can't log onto your account. And then when you do, it says you got no money in it. Now they're talking about extreme weather freezing your bank account. Let's look at this. Mind you, fair use. This is commentary reaction to content above for teaching purposes, right? And look what they're pushing. Companies are all relying on each other. They're all becoming interconnected, right? In a network of critical interdependencies. One way, one world, one government, one money, you know. Did you see how they slid that in? Hold on. Did you see how they slid that in? Let me back it up real quick. I'm gonna let y'all see the rest. But you see that? It means that a severe snowstorm, for example, or I thought this was about the weather. Imagine the frightening scenario of a comprehensive cyber attack. Remember that? I'm not gonna play the video. Y'all seen it? Ironically, everything that they're doing is going down right now. That's why we talked about last week. Banks closing down, bank failures, all this other stuff. I said, hey, make sure you got a little something stashed away, because when they shut it down and you can't access your money because we're too locked into the digital systems, you might go hungry for a few days, maybe a week, who knows, before they say, okay, we finally fixed your problem. We got you back up. Everybody's rushing to the bank to get the withdraw cash. You know they're going to have limits on that. Rationing money out. You know, there's a scene in It's a Wonderful World. That old movie. They were talking about people doing, they had a scene in there, people doing bank runs, taking all the money out, and the bank was tripping. They was about to shut the bank down, and the guy had to give out little loans. I would locate it and play it, but if you look on YouTube and you type in "It's a Wonderful World" bank run scene, you'll see what it'll be when people panic and want all their money out the bank, and the banks ain't got the money in there. Don't think a cyber attack is the account's tripping. You're gonna show up to the bank along with 500 other people lined up waiting to get their money out, and the bank's gonna say, "Sorry, we don't have the cash on it. We're working on the glitch. Lock the door, security." Before people panic and bust them windows down and go crazy. That's why the bulletproof glass is there and the panic buttons, because you're not gonna be able to get your money. They're already plotting on it. Let me let this go. And to top it off, remember he said cyber attack or weather. It said it could deny you being able to get your money online or in person. So just think about this as well. You show up to the bank and the bank systems is offline. How are they going to access your accounts? How can they scan your card? They're going to say, sorry, computers are down. We're affected just like you. We can't access your account. ATMs is down. Everything's down. Sorry. What do we go? You understand what I'm saying? That's why we can't be deceived by the inventions of men and thinking like the system is going to constantly be there to help. Access denied, a situation that could lead to widespread panic and a loss of trust. That's right. Go ahead. Everybody got to play their part, safeguarding the system. That's when they get the whole B system grid lined up, and everybody's playing their part to help promote the system of the beast. Problem, reaction, solution. They create the problem inside a reaction, and then, oh, don't worry, we've got the solution. We're going to safeguard the system. Trust us. There you go. Straight from the WEF themselves, the World Economic Forum, the ones who say they're going to build back better. No, that's slow Biden. They say they're going to what's their motto? Well, the one of their mottos is you're gonna own nothing, have nothing, and be happy, and the other one is a great reset. All right, how they and behind closed doors, they're out here bubbling up and funding wars and doing everything they can to create chaos so they can have a great reset. Let's start off here. China deploys a record 125 warplanes in a large-scale military drill in a warning to Taiwan. Remember, talked about us to them blue in the face. Y'all seen the article of 2 years ago. China said if Taiwan doesn't submit and come back to the one China policy, they're going to force by means of war by 2027. That's what they say. The Lord may do otherwise, who knows? But they're saying 2027 is lit. And you see how time is flying. We're already 2 months away from 2025. And then things is really going to get to clicking. Okay. I showed y'all the Dago report that was talking about the population control and reducing it by hundreds of millions of people and all that. I mean, hey, look, man, it's going down one way or the other, right? China deploys 125 warplanes in a large-scale military drill in warning to Taiwan. China employed a record 125 aircraft as well as Liaoning aircraft carrier and ships in large-scale military exercises surrounding Taiwan and its outlying islands on Monday, simulating the sealing off of key ports in a move that underscores a tense situation in the Taiwan Strait, officials said. And guess who they're going to rely on? Who Taiwan needs? America. America's getting pulled in multiple directions. The tentacles on the Hydra over here is getting, stretched out all over the world, and they're going to stretch themselves thin. That's what's going to leave America open for destruction. They're going to be engulfed in too many wars. And Revelation 17 tells you that the 10 horns are going to hate the whore and going to make war with her. Obadiah says that all those that was in confederate with him are going to turn their back on him. So the writing is on the wall. We're just seeing the blueprints playing out, the Most High moving the chess pieces, the igniting of multiple wars all around the world that America has connections to. Each one of them, ironically, is what we're talking about, i.e. World War III. Let's look at this. Fair use. North Korea has blown up its side of a road that connects it to South Korea days after vowing to completely seal off its border. So look at that sign. Goodbye. Oh, man. North Korea is blowing up their roads, stopping anyone from connecting with South Korea, sealed off its border. Where and what time are we living in? Hold on, let me stop this thing. Relax. All right. Let me stop the thing because what other time are we looking at right now? Right. Second of the 15, right? Verse 17. A man shall desire to go into a city and shall not be able. Why? What's going on? Verse 16. For there shall be sedition among men and invading one another. They shall not regard their kings nor princes. In the course of their actions shall stand in their power. Let me read it one more. Verse 15. For the sword and the destruction draweth nigh, and one people shall stand up and fight against another, and swords in their hand. There's going to be warfare that goes on. And part of that is going to be quarantining off and separating states, countries away, and people escaping. We just seen that in Lebanon. Millions of people was trying to get up out of there, before the bombs got to dropping, and they got stuck over there. They shut down and canceling flights. People can't leave. You understand what I'm saying? I showed y'all the article a couple months ago that Israel or the Israelis were canceling all flights until the spring of 2025 of people coming in. So there you go. A man designed to go in the city is not going to be able. Well, look at this already going down in South Korea and North Korea. Well, they blew up access to each country.
They say one step at a time, but think one step ahead. Watch your step. Step it up. We say take your next step with a goal at your back. Your whole financial picture and path forward, all with Merrill.
He's acknowledging enemies. He said he's largely acknowledging that the South or South Korea is their enemy. Remember France? France was just got through saying that they're doing their military drills. They're going to align themselves on the Eastern Front when it all cracks off. And they said they've been running simulations, but now they have an identified enemy, as in Russia. So the nations now are identifying who the enemies are and when war is going to be cracking off. Let me finish this up. All right. So that's going down. Continuing on. Look at this. Don't you dare attack Iran. Putin's direct warning to Israel. Russia declares support to Tehran. So, of course, according to Ezekiel 38, we've read it a million times, that Israel's going to be a guard to Iran, i.e. Persia. This is even more indicative of the prophecy. Putin said he gave a direct warning to Israel, to the small hat GMO, non-organic, creatures over there. Look, don't even try it. And he's openly declared his support for Tehran. Israel Security Cabinet met on October 10th to finalize its response to Iran's missile attack, but made no major resolutions regarding retaliation. That may be why the small hats are slowly thinking about how they want to go about attacking. Because they want get back, but they've been slow to do it. And now we're hearing Russia saying, hey, if you try it, I got their back. Are you ready for that? Now, the small hats got to double back and reconsider what type of approach they're going to do for revenge. Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu had warned Iran would, quote, pay for its attack, yet the decision remains pending. Meanwhile, Israeli Defense Minister Yoav Gallant is awaiting approval for a U.S. trip as both nations coordinate their strategic response. Both nations. So America is in on it. Keep that in mind. Oh, federal officials say Trump was not in danger after man arrested with illegal weapons near campaign rally in California. They was quick to say, third assassination attempt. And I was like, damn, okay. What is it? They either really trying to get rid of this cat man, or he's capitalizing off of the publicity that he gets with these things. See, like I said, he's definitely been involved in WWE and WWF antics. Um, because either, and I think it got played out the way that it did because they got a zealous chief of police or sheriff or whatever he was, and he's making sense. He's saying, "Hey, look, we catch this guy trying to get into the rally with a fake press pass, multiple fake passports, an unregistered car. He got straps on him, high capacity magazines. What else are we supposed to think? Two other attempts already been made on him. So he's out there like, hey, this is real. The dude that gets caught, he's saying, no. I carry those weapons for protection. I'm an avid Trump supporter. Like something ain't right. The dude probably, somebody probably told him that he was going to be able to have access to come on in and all that some more stuff because we need some backup here. Who knows? Yeah, it could have been a zealous Trump, MAGA hat guy, Secret Service, FBI. Somebody got in his ear, told him, it's cool, bring your stuff. This, down the third. We got a mission for you. Little does he know he's a fall guy, so they can set up a scenario that there was another attempt on his life because Lord knows the Mockingbird media and the press machine is trying their damnedest to get Chameleon, Koala, what other names have we got for her? Harris, whatever. They're trying to shove her down your throat. They got everybody from Magic Johnson to Obama and every little celebrity, wagging their tongues out to try to get blacks and Hispanics to vote for her. It's sad, but they out there hustling, and politicking for her. And he might be looking like, hey, I need to throw some more attention on me. Lord knows, Agent Orange is an attention whore. So who knows? The reason why I tripped is because he got released on bond damn near immediately, same day, and got out. The bond was under $1,000. You're talking about the cat had fake passports. That's a federal ID. That's a federal offense, and they said that's a misdemeanor. Didn't have a registered car. He got guns on him. If that was a Jake, man, they'd have been shot him and threw him under the damn prison, under the jail. Are you kidding me? Quick little flash in the pan, he gets out. He's already back on social media explaining himself.
California authorities arresting, then releasing a man who had two guns outside a Trump rally.
Now, that suspect has since denied the local county sheriff's claims that he was planning to assassinate the former president. Good day's Robert Moses. He joins us live from Midtown with the latest on this situation and also the race for the White House. Robert, good morning.
Shawnee and Danny, good morning to you. In an interview with Fox News Digital.
Good morning. It's dark as hell out there. Where are they at?
This suspect described himself as 100% a Trump supporter. At this point, he faces no federal charges, a little more than 3 weeks before Election Day.
Maybe I got to look up the laws because I could have sworn that a passport is a federal document. And if you have a fake one, I mean, imagine if you're at the airport and TSA stops you and says this isn't a real, they're gonna think you a damn terrorist. Your ass is locked up. What are they talking about? I'm confused. I'm gonna have to look up the law because maybe I'm wrong. Because if that's the case, I'm not gonna trip about my ID because I'm gonna be like, hey, that's a misdemeanor. I'll pay $500 fine. Bail and get up out of there. I mean, this is crazy. No, I can't do that because I ain't got the complexion for the connection. Don't listen to me, y'all.
With 22 days to go until Election Day, both former President Donald Trump and Vice President Kamala Harris descend on Pennsylvania, a battleground state that each views as a must-win. The former president will hold a town hall in Oaks, just outside Philadelphia, at 6 tonight. About an hour and a half later, the vice president campaigns on the other side of the state in Erie. On Saturday, before former President Trump held a rally in Coachella, California, the Riverside County Sheriff's Office arrested 49-year-old Vem Miller, a self-described supporter of the former president, as he tried to enter. According to Sheriff Chad Bianco, a deputy found a loaded handgun, a shotgun, and high-capacity magazine in Miller's unregistered vehicle. The deputy also discovered passports with multiple names.
Did you hear that? He had a 9 on him, a shotgun, magazines, unregistered vehicle, passports with multiple names, and the dude gets out same day. Said that's all those are misdemeanors.
And driver's licenses with different names.
If you're asked,
driver's license with different names. And this guy is a fall guy because he's thinking like, I'm doing the right thing. You asked me, yeah, it was an assassination attempt. And in my thinking, I'm like, this dude is basically, they're gonna make him look like he's a dummy and overzealous. They like, nah, the guy's a MAGA hat, devotee. He's fine. Let him go.
asking me right now, I probably did have deputies that prevented the third assassination attempt.
But in a joint statement, the U.S. Attorney's Office, Secret Service, and FBI said the former president was, quote, not in any danger.
Oh, imagine that. Secret Service, FBI. They all say, hey, there was no danger. Hello, hint, hint. We had it all under control. Don't worry. The sheriff, he know he's working for Boss Hogg, and what's for the Dukes of Hazzard reference for you old heads out there? Was it Cletus? Boss Hogg. There you go, right there. Agent Orange, got everything set up.
Miller was released on just $5,000 bail. Asked if he was being overly dramatic in his...
Yeah, 5,000. I thought it was 500. I thought it was under $1,000. Let me make sure I was right on that.
Asked if he was being overly dramatic in his assessment, was released on just $5,000 bail.
Oh, 5,000. I thought it was 500.
Asked if he was being overly dramatic in his assessment of the arrest, Bianco, who has been highly critical of Democratic leaders, responded this way.
If we are that politically lost, that we have lost sight of common sense and reality and reason, that we can't say that, holy crap, what did he show up with all of that stuff for and loaded guns, and I'm going to be accused of being dramatic. We have a serious, serious problem in this country.
Bianco got set up. And he's believing, hey, I did the right thing, and they all painted him to be like he's crazy. That's gaslighting at its finest. And he got caught slipping, in my opinion. Let's move on.
Yeah.
The UN says no food has entered northern Gaza since the start of October, putting 1 million people at risk of starvation. So they're decreasing supplies. They're decreasing the food that's going into Gaza to feed the Palestinians. 1 million people are already at risk of starvation. They was already over there damn near eating whatever they can get their hands on, right? So when Yahweh Shai talked about there's going to be famines in the land as part of the signs to watch for, we see that clearly. That's going on. Many third world countries is dealing with starvation. Argentina dealing with 300% or I think it might be 300% inflation right now. Food is not going. People can barely afford food. Ecuador dealing with blackouts. Venezuela dealing with blackouts. Poverty. Africa. You name it. Right. So we're talking about the vast majority of the world really isn't Haiti. People are not living, because over here in America, there's the new $5 meals at every little fast food spot you can get to. doesn't mean that the rest of the world isn't starving, man. So look, the Palestinians is about to starve out. You dig what I'm saying? Since October. So for the past 14, 15 days as I'm recording it, look, this it's like that. No food has entered northern Gaza. Half the month already, they ain't been eating right. You know. Look, it said in August, approximately 700 aid trucks entered northern Gaza. September, only 400. And America said they're trying to cut that in half. So they're getting ready to starve them out. Look it down here. Hunger remains rampant and the threat of famine persists. WFP added, if the flow of assistance does not resume, 1 million vulnerable people will be deprived on this lifeline. They're going to starve them out. And that's part of prophecy. We see the famine's already kicking in. Look, beyond anything I'd ever seen, Sudan facing worst levels of acute food insecurity ever recorded. They're talking about, look at this, 25.6 people in Sudan are facing high levels of acute food insecurity, and 8.5 million people are facing emergency food shortages. Did you hear that? 25.6 million people in Sudan are facing high levels of food insecurity. 8.5 million are in emergencies right now, needing food. Clearly, famine, pestilence, as Yahweh told us in Matthew the 24th chapter, is going down. Major U.S. banks are on course to close a staggering 1,000 branches this year. Here's the full list. You can look down here. I'm just going to get right to the point. Bank of America closed the most locations of any bank, shuttering 132 between January and September. U.S. Bank followed right behind them, 101. Wells Fargo, 92. Chase, 90. TD Bank, 52. You got closures in PNC Bank, Citizens Bank, Wood Forest, Fulton, and Capital One. The worst hit state was California, which saw 86 branches closed across the state. New York saw 64 in the first 9 months. Other badly hit states include Pennsylvania, 47, Texas, 46, Ohio, 45, Florida, 43, New Jersey, 41. And then we just get to seeing the World Economic Forum talking about, oh, imagine if extreme weather or a cyber attack hits and shuts your banks down. They're already closing them down based upon the economics of doing business and the inflation rates and the dollar being weak and the stock markets and the commercial loans fell in and everything else. Now, what do they need next to shut it all down? Oh, hit them with a hard storm. Geoengineering, the same things they're saying people is crazy, saying they can control the weather. Or a cyber attack. Hey, shut it all down. That's what's on the table, y'all. Disney under fire over a raunchy show where characters joke about gay sex. Disney. Same thing they're subjecting children to with these Disney shows. The innuendos is constantly flowing and they don't stop. This is how you know we're in spiritual Sodom according to Revelation 11 and 8. Spiritual Sodom. They're force feeding the LGBTQ plus HIV agenda. They're hitting the young minds right now. And they're doing it in the name of, oh, it's just funny. It's just cute. It's just jokes. No, it's wicked. It's abominable. And you're out here trying to placate an agenda, gaslighting the way, and then saying, oh, no. What are you talking about? No, this is all innocent. There's nothing going on here. You're misunderstanding. Look at it. Disney has come under fire over a theme park show that it says is suitable for all ages, even though it is littered with raunchy jokes about its characters using a gay dating app, Grindr, and wanting to pound each other. I don't even know if I want to finish reading this, man. It's called Story Time with Deadpool. The show plays at Disney's California Adventure Park and is based on the Deadpool Wolverine movie, which hit streaming platforms last week and had its highest ever domestic debut for an R-rated film. Everybody loves it. I mean, Deadpool, I have to admit, I did go see it and I damn near walked out, me and my rib. It was like, we was out of town. looking for something to do. Just had dinner. It was like, hey, you know what? Let's catch a movie. Nothing that, the theaters is all weak. Ain't no good movies out. We was like, I grew up watching, looking at comic books and stuff like that. I don't think Deadpool was out. Maybe he was. I don't know. But I like comics. I like the Marvel movies and stuff like that. I said, let's check the Deadpool out. I mean, good Lord. What type of mistake was that? I think they say he's non-binary. He's definitely all kind of sodomite jokes going on in there, so-called jokes in there. So it's no surprise that Disney is continually pushing the agenda. The new head of Disney said that she's going to make sure that all the new movies have quote unquote inclusive characters. That even when they come down to changing sexuality, I think they're saying Batgirl now is a sodomite. They got the new Aquaman's a sodomite. I mean, they got a sodomite Captain America. It's out of control. Out of control, right? That's where we're at right now, y'all. That's where we're at right now. Unbelievable things going on in the world. Everything from the stages of the rollout of them introducing and acknowledging them having the technology to clone humans, flirting with the idea of cyber attacks and extreme weather, shutting the banks down, facial recognition, biometrics, entering into government systems to lock you into being able to access your benefits. Haven't we talked about that already with the World Economic Forum and the World ID? I showed you the grid, everything that's going to access, and it did say to get your benefits and to access government services. I mean, they already telling us and they doing it. North Korea blowing up access to South Carolina. South Korea. Agent Orange up to his old WWE tricks, and man, it's going down, y'all. That's it for your brother, man. All praise, honor, and glory to the Most High, while you have a shot, man. Prayerfully, y'all have a blessed Shabbat, man, and everybody's enjoying the tabernacles if you're keeping it during our time, and I know some have already kept theirs, or are in the midst of it right now with us. It's all good. Glad that everyone is able to lock in for a moment with me, and you already know the time. You know what it is. Fear the Most High. Keep the commandments. Don't shoot the messenger. Y'all be well. See you in the future. Lord willing. Shalom.